A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. The thrilling stories of the Masked Rider of Justice cannot be found in the written pages of history. But his deeds will live forever in the memories of the people of 7 western states, who still tell the story of the famous Mystery Rider. The thundering hoofs of silver bring its adventure on the trail ahead. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Hurry, Silver, old fellow! Outlaws are riding down from the hills! Stretch out those great legs of yours! Hi-yo, Silver!
As the masked man rode by on Silver, we heard him say that the outlaws in the hills were threatening to ride again. The hills bordering the town of Greenville made a perfect hiding place for the outlaws that operated in that territory. Cavalry troops were garrisoned nearby, but their presence failed to frighten the bandits. Colonel Dawson, in command, frequently rode to town to visit his daughter Sally. And as our story opens, we hear the angry townspeople commenting on the last attack of the outlaws.
Why in thunder don't the troops do something?
What are we paying taxes for?
Them troops could clean the outlaws out of the hills if they'd only get to it.
Hi, look at who's here.
It's Dawson.
Hi there, Colonel Dawson. Who there?
Where's the sheriff?
Here I am, Colonel. And you're just the man I want to see.
Sheriff, where's my daughter? Is she safe?
Yeah, Colonel, your daughter's safe enough, but there's other folks that ain't.
Thank goodness. As soon as I heard about the attack, I came here.
Yeah, we see that. I don't suppose you're much concerned about Abe Whitcomb's wife. She was killed by them brigands.
She was?
Yeah, and so was Lige Foster and Lem Bixby and about 5 other men.
Was the attack as bad as that?
That don't include no mention of 20-odd men that was wounded.
Those confounded outlaws.
Oh, never mind acting indignant, Colonel. You go see your daughter. Make sure she's safe. Then get back to your camp. Don't order your men to charge them hills and clean out the killers, though.
Why not?
Might be dangerous work for the soldiers. Some of your men might get hurt.
Yeah. Now, look here, Sheriff. I've told you before what we've done about those outlaws. I'm simply stationed here to carry out orders from Washington.
Sure, we savvy.
Washington don't care nothing about what happens to the settlers in a place like this. It's a lot cheaper to let us folks get killed off than it'd be to have some of the soldiers get hurt.
You feel that we should attack the hills and clean out the outlaws. Well, there's nothing I'd sooner do. But I can't until I get instructions.
I can give you instructions. Just ride up to them and blaze away with gunfire.
Instructions from Washington.
Never mind, Colonel Dawson. We ain't counting on nothing from the government, so we ain't disappointed none.
Your daughter's in Ma Tyndall's house there.
Yeah. You better go talk to her. Maybe she'll have something to say about how we folks in Greenville feel.
Watch my horse.
Watch your own horse.
If those men only understood. I'd lose my command if I...
Oh, it's you.
How do you do, Mrs. Tyndall?
If you're here to speak to your daughter, you'll find her in the next room.
Mrs. Tyndall, 1 minute.
Ain't the time to talk. You can let yourself out when you're ready to leave.
She feels the same as everyone else.
Oh,
Oh, Dad.
Sally, thank goodness you're safe.
I wish they'd killed me.
What?
Oh, you don't know how the folks here feel. The way I'm pointed at because you don't do anything about the murderers in the hills. Here is a town that suffered at the hands of the outlaws 6 times. Those killers stayed right in the hills almost a stone's throw from your camp. And you don't do a thing about it.
I know. Sally, I've sent word to Washington. I'm just waiting for a reply.
Waiting? That's what you said the last time. That's all you ever say.
But, Sally, you know the position I'm in. I can't order my men to leave the fort and ride into the hills.
You're stationed here to protect folks.
I'm here to keep the Indians controlled. I can't take over the work of the state officials and fight outlaws without federal sanction.
Suppose that sanction never comes.
Then, dear, I'll have to continue to face the jibes and anger of the men in Greenville.
Well, I won't continue to face them. I'll leave here.
If those orders come from Washington...
Confound those orders, Father. Can't you risk your commission if it means saving everyone here from other attacks?
You would have me face court-martial?
I'd face court-martial. I'd be glad to. I'd face the firing squad if it meant the cleaning out of all those outlaws.
Sally, you're not a soldier. You haven't spent your life obeying orders.
Perhaps not, but I'm glad of it.
Would you like to ride back to the camp with me and see some of your friends?
No.
It might be a change.
No.
You could stay a couple of days and then come back.
I don't want to see anything more of you or your men. I don't want any part of the army until this town is made safe.
But, my dear...
Now you'd better go.
Following their raid on Greenville, the outlaws returned to their camp in the hills. Their leader was a man called Wolf, a huge man with a cruel face and a surly, overbearing manner. He divided the loot taken from the attack among his men, keeping half for himself. His followers noted his action and grumbled protestingly.
You needn't think all of this cash is mine. I got a plenty of it to pay out.
Yeah, you pay out a plenty, Wolf. There's a plenty left. You get as much as all the rest of us put together. And it ain't fair.
Oh, so it ain't fair, eh? Well, let me tell you something. If it wasn't for the things I do with my share, there wouldn't none of you be living.
How's that?
You ain't been attacked by them soldiers, have you?
Not yet.
You ain't had much trouble getting out of Greenville, the other towns, after you made the attacks, have you? You're getting away with all the raids as slick as wagon grease. And don't you figure there's a reason for it?
We hanker to know that reason, Wolf.
It's the guys I got in the payroll. I pay 'em out my share. I know just what's going on all the time. I find out when there's a big shindig, where most of the men will be, when we raid the houses in a town. I knowed when Greenville's men was out posse riding so's we got attacked.
You mean you got spies working?
Sure I have. Look at here. This letter come to Lem Bixby by the last stage.
He was killed in a raid.
That was too bad, because Lem was working for me. Lem got mail by stage, and that same come from one of my pals in the East. This particular letter tells him that orders are going out from Washington the first of the month.
What sort of orders?
From Washington?
Yep. Orders to Colonel Dawson.
He writ to Washington about us?
Sure he did. And he asked for permission to make an attack on us and clean us out.
Did he get it?
He will, unless something's done about it.
When was them orders to go out?
First of the month.
Then they already went.
Yep, a couple of days ago.
And he'll attack us.
Now, Jake, you'll see where I spend my money for your protection. I know them orders left, and I know they're coming by the Pony Express. What's more, I know where we can waylay the Pony Rider, get him, and do away with them orders.
Well,
that puts things in a new light, don't it?
It sure does.
no wonder we've been so blame lucky.
Wasn't luck at all. It's our boss.
Now, are you satisfied?
Sure.
All right, then. Now, a couple of you'll have to ride east and meet that Pony Rider.
Get up, boy. Get up. Get up, boy. Get up. Get up, boy. Get up.
The outlaws' activities had brought the Lone Ranger and his faithful Indian companion Tonto into the district. They were riding close to the trail when the Pony Rider was shot. The sharp crack of the rifle caught their attention, and they pressed forward to investigate.
The shots came from somewhere near here, Tonto.
Me here, horse.
Look ahead.
Something on trail.
Looks like a horse.
Get him up, white feller.
Someone has shot the poor beast.
That's right.
And there's a man. And smoke. Tonto, do you see that smoke?
We get there quick now.
Come on, Silver.
Where killer?
Maybe we can trail the killers. Oh, there, Silver. See if there's any hope for the man.
Him Pony Rider.
Yes. Help the man if it isn't too late.
Horse. Dead.
I see it is. How about the Pony Rider? Do what you can for him. I'll stamp out this fire and see if we can save some of the mail.
Bullet get him in back. Other bullet in shoulder. Him gone.
Gone? Murdered.
That's right.
And shot from behind.
Him head west. Bullet hit him here. Bullet come from rock over there.
Then we'll start from there and try to trail the man who did this. But first we'll take the time to see if any of this mail is worth taking with us. Another couple of minutes and it would have all been burned.
That's right.
Here's part of a letter. It's addressed to the commander at Fort Greenville.
That near where outlaw hide.
The hills beyond Greenville are infested with killers. Tonto, I'm going to see what this letter says.
It part burned.
But some of it's left. I'm going to find out about it.
Maybe Tonto go hunt for killer, huh?
Wait a minute. Kimosabe, this is an order to Colonel Dawson.
What'd it say?
It instructs him to attack the outlaws.
That's what plenty people want.
You know the situation around Greenville. Folks there have been hoping and praying for weeks that the army would do something about the outlaws in the hills.
That's right.
This letter is Colonel Dawson's authority to attack.
And gun.
Down, Tonto.
There, killer.
They're still behind those rocks, Tonto.
We get him to shelter.
Behind this rock. Here, Silver. We've got to capture them alive. Get to your horse. Ride to the west. I'll go to the east. We'll move in from both sides of the rock.
Get him up, white fella.
Come on, Silver. We want them alive, Tonto. Come on, Silver. Throw down your rifle and surrender.
Reload. Cut him down. My rifle's dead.
Throw down your rifle. Surrender.
Don't shoot. Don't shoot. I give up.
Hold there, Silver. No more. Throw down your rifle.
Not while I'm...
Put up your hands.
You smashed my hand with that bullet.
Oh, white fella, oh.
Keep them covered, Tonto.
We give up. We surrender.
All right.
You got us. Oh, what are you going to do about it?
You killed the Pony Rider.
That calls for proof, mister. Maybe we figured you done the same. You're masked, ain't you?
You know very well we didn't commit that murder.
You shoot Pony Rider from Hind Rock.
And you're going to Greenville to face trial for murder.
All right, mister. We'll go with you. Reckon it ain't nothing but your word again ours.
But, Jake, he got that letter out in the fire.
He got it and he dropped it.
Oh, where? Where letter?
Letter? I did drop it. I dropped it when I drew my guns.
Yeah, and it's too late to pick it up. He didn't stamp out all that fire and the letter burned. Now go on, take us to town. We'll stand trial.
You'll go to town, all right, and we'll give the commander the information that letter contains.
That's all right.
Jake, maybe we
You
might...
shut up and stop worrying. It's our word against a masked man and an Injun. Before they're done, they'll be the ones that'll be on trial for murder.
The curtain falls on the first act of our thrilling Lone Ranger drama. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now, on with our story. The outlaws near Greenville, knowing that Colonel Dawson could not attack them until he had received orders from Washington, killed the Pony Express rider bringing those orders. The Lone Ranger recovered the letter, but in the battle with the outlaws that followed, it was destroyed. Our next scene takes place in the fort where Colonel Dawson is stationed. He is speaking to his aide.
Did you see my daughter when you were in town?
Yes, sir.
What did she say?
She wouldn't speak to me, sir. I saw her and she walked away from me.
Then she meant what she said.
I beg your pardon, sir.
My daughter's been miserably treated by those fools in Greenville.
Fools, sir?
Yes, fools. If they had an ounce of brains, they'd realize that I can't attack the outlaws without orders from Washington. Even Sally feels that I should violate my instructions.
You sent to Washington for permission to attack, sir?
Yes. The reply should be here any day now. If I get permission, I'll attack at once. We'll clean out those outlaws in half a day's time. Without that permission, I cannot and will not attack.
The people in town think we're afraid, Colonel.
They won't give me a chance to explain.
Did you explain to your daughter, sir?
I tried to, but even Sally won't try to understand. When orders come from Washington, we can vindicate ourselves. What else happened in town? Anything of importance?
Yes, sir. A pony rider was killed.
Killed?
Shot from ambush.
A pony rider, you say?
Yes, sir.
I wonder if... Good Lord. It can't be possible it was the rider bringing our instruction from the capital.
I sincerely hope not, sir. His mail was burned.
Who killed him?
No one seems to know. A masked man and an Indian came into town with 2 prisoners. Both were identified as outlaws.
And they murdered the pony rider?
The masked man claims they did. The others claim the masked man was the murderer.
Masked man? Who was he?
No one seems to know, sir. The sheriff tried to put him in jail with the others, but he got away.
Escaped?
Yes, sir. The lawmen seem to think his escape is proof of his guilt. But I...
You what?
My opinion is of no value, Colonel Dawson.
What were you going to say?
I thought he might have fled simply to prevent being unmasked. There was something about the man that I...
Well, go on. You what?
There was something about him that I admired and respected. I wondered at the time if he was the Lone Ranger.
Lone Ranger?
You've heard of him, sir.
Of course. Where did he go when he left Greenville?
I don't know. Some men tried to follow him, but they were quickly outdistanced by his horse.
That's all you know about it?
Yes, sir. After making arrangements for supplies, I left and came back here.
What in the world?
Stand where you are.
The masked man.
The same one.
How did you get in here? How did you get by the guards?
I came here to speak to you, Colonel. You'll find your guards unharmed.
It's incredible. It's impossible. How could any man get by those guards?
It isn't hard if a man knows this part of the country.
You're the man who brought in those 2 killers, the ones who shot down the pony rider.
Yes. Colonel Dawson, before the 2 opened fire on Tonto and me, I read a letter addressed to you. It was partly burned. I wanted to see if there was enough left of it to be of any importance to you. The letter was later destroyed when it fell into the fire while I charged the killers.
What was it? What did it say?
It was an order from Washington. You were instructed to attack the hills and rout the outlaws, taking as many prisoners as possible, but shooting to kill if necessary.
How do I know you're telling the truth?
You'll have to take my word for it.
But I can't attack on merely the word of a masked man.
Colonel, if you'll permit me, sir, I'll vouch for this man.
Even that won't do. Lieutenant, send another message to Washington at once. Ask for a copy of the instructions sent by Pony Express, explaining the original was destroyed.
But it'll take weeks for that message to get back here, and that time the outlaws will kill another score of people in Greenville.
Without orders, no attack can be made.
There were orders.
I must see them. I must have them on fire.
Colonel Dawson, sometimes a man can carry his military tactics too far. There are times when a good soldier will throw aside regulations if he knows he's right.
I act only on written order.
You'll have to act before another 3 weeks or Greenville will rise against you.
They've already said all they're going to say.
But they haven't started to act. If those outlaws raid that town again, there's no telling what the people will do.
Written order.
Very well.
And now consider yourself under arrest. Obviously, you attacked the guards.
Arrest? People have tried to arrest me before, Colonel Dawson.
Get him. Stop him.
I'll try.
The masked man had failed to persuade the colonel to act. The situation was desperate. The outlaws were still free to raid as they pleased, and the Lone Ranger felt that it was his responsibility to aid in their capture. We see the masked man as he reins Silver to a halt at his small, well-concealed camp.
Oh, Silver. Oh, there, boy. Oh. Tonto, Colonel Dawson wouldn't even listen to me.
Him stubborn.
He's willing to attack the outlaws, but only on written orders from Washington.
You see order.
Yes, but he wouldn't take my word.
Him foolish.
Remember, Kimosabe, there's some belief that I'm the one who shot the pony rider.
What we do, huh?
I have an idea, Kimosabe. It might work.
What? That?
Those 2 men who are in jail for shooting the pony rider will never be convicted of the murder.
There's no proof.
No, there's no proof. If they do come to trial, they'll go free. So nothing would be lost if we set them free.
Let them go?
Yes. Tonto, we're going to let them go so they'll be punished.
Me not savvy.
They will be punished if my plan works. And the first step in the plan is to set those outlaws free.
We go there tonight?
Yes, and we've just time to get ready. First, I'll explain your part of the plan.
The Lone Ranger and Tonto rode to town where they found the sheriff and explained their plan. The sheriff agreed to help them, and later that same night the masked man and his faithful Indian friend raced to the jail, brought their mounts to a halt, and dismounted.
Don't waste any time. Smash the lock with bullets.
Me do.
Hey, what's going on there?
Uncle Sam Hill.
We're here to get you out. There are horses back at the jail.
You're the man that brought us here.
Don't waste time talking. Take advantage of this chance. Send another bullet into that lock.
That's right.
That does it. Now open the door, Jake.
We're free. Come on, Bard. We're free.
This'll save us from hanging.
Get aboard those horses and head for the hills.
I ain't a man to ask questions, and I see a chance like this. Come on.
I'm right behind you. Come on, boy.
There's the sheriff, Tonto. That's good. He's coming from the cafe with half a dozen men.
Sheriff do him part.
Get aboard your horse, Tonto. There go Jake and his friend.
Them go to outlaw camp.
Yes. Hail,
Get 'em up, white fire.
Early the next morning, the sheriff and two deputies rode swiftly to the fort. They demanded that the guards admit them, and were taken to the colonel at once. The sheriff explained their errand.
Dawson, I tell you, you've got to do something.
What's the matter now?
You know who I am. I'm sheriff over at Greenville.
I know that. What do you want here? I have already told you my position.
I know, but this is different. Maybe you didn't know about it, but them two men busted out of jail last night.
That's your responsibility.
But they'll be heading for the hills, don't you, savvy?
I've already told you that I can do nothing
But, Dad, drat it, I'm telling you this because it's your own daughter that's in danger.
What's that?
Sally?
Sure. They'll not, like as not, take her with them. They'll use her as a hostage.
Colonel Dawson, your own daughter.
They wouldn't dare do that.
Them critters will dare do anything for their own protection. If they get the girl into the hills, you won't dare make no attack on them. If you do, it'll mean that they'll kill her.
If they capture the girl, they've got to be stopped before they reach the hills.
That's just it. That's why I come here. We ain't got men enough to chase them. I haven't more than half a dozen men to ride with me. We wouldn't have no luck at all.
My daughter. I can't believe it. No, they wouldn't do that.
They're ruthless, sir.
Colonel Dawson.
What do you want?
The sentry reports a man riding south of the fort, carrying your daughter and his horse with him.
Good Lord.
That's it. Don't you see? They're already heading for the hills. You've got to do something, Colonel.
If you don't, sir...
How do you know it's my daughter?
The dress and hat. The same outfit she wore when she was here the last time.
That settles it, sir. We've got to move.
If you don't give the orders, Colonel Dawson...
But
I'll give the orders to charge myself.
Have the bugler sound assembly. We're going into the hills.
Sprang into action. Orders were barked, weapons made ready, horses saddled. The colonel himself leaped to the saddle and placed himself at the head of his soldiers. A lifted hand, a sharp command, and the troop was racing in pursuit of the masked man whose great white horse was thundering toward the timber at the foot of the hill. Let us flash ahead of the soldiers to the outlaws' camp. Jake and his companion are standing before their leader, Wolf, who questions them closely about their escape from jail.
But why'd this masked man and his Indian friend let you out? Oh, we didn't stop to ask no questions, Wolf. We were just doggone glad to get free. It don't make sense. First he takes you to jail, then he breaks you out. What'd he do it for? You wouldn't have been convicted nohow. There wasn't no proof against you if what you say is true. Just the same, I'd sooner not take a chance on a jury.
Come on,
Who's that coming?
That's the man that let us out.
Coming here? That's it, Wolf. Don't you see? He wants to join up with the gang. He figured to get in good with you by letting us out. That's what he's coming here for.
There he is, see him? Coming up the hill.
Well, I'll talk to him. Hey, what's he got with him there? Who's that woman in the saddle?
Gosh, I don't know.
What the Sam Hill is he bringing?
There's soldiers coming behind him. They're chasing them here.
He led them right to us.
I thought you said you destroyed that order for the soldiers to come here.
We did. We've seen it burn.
Get your guns, boys. Get your guns. We gotta fight for our lives.
Fighting was sharp and deadly. The outlaws, fighting for their lives, resisted desperately. They fought with the ferocity of trapped wolves. But the soldiers charged down upon them with the irresistible efficiency of trained troops. They surrounded the camp, and their guns began to cut down the outlaws from all sides. At last, the gang threw away their arms, and Colonel Dawson assumed command.
Rope them and take them back to the post. We'll put them on trial there.
Doggone Colonel Dawson. That's where they'll get a trial that'll give them what they got coming.
And there's the two who killed the Pony Rider.
You can't prove
You may not hang for that murder, Jake, but you'll get your punishment for other crimes.
And you, sir. You're the one who captured...
Your daughter is quite safe, Colonel Dawson. Come, Tonto.
Me.
Give the colonel his daughter's clothes.
You're the one that was on the horse?
Me same feller.
Sally would be glad to know that you loaned her clothes to help our plan.
By thunder, Dawson. There's the time that one was put over on you.
You may take my word for it, sir. The orders to attack were sent to you. Hi-yo, Silver! Come on, Silver, old boy! Stretch out those great legs of yours! Tonto's waiting on the trail ahead! Hi-yo, Silver!
The story you have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated. A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. A phantom figure of the plains rode the trails of the western United States, helping the agencies of law to bring peace to a lawless new land. It was the famous Lone Ranger, his identity unknown to anyone except his loyal Indian friend Tonto. Adventure always followed him in his exciting exploits. So let's thrill once again as we turn back many years to the wild and untamed West of old. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver, old boy. That's it, old fellow. We've a long, hard job ahead of us. Hi-yo, Silver!
Eagle Pass was a narrow cut between two sheer walls of solid rock. It separated the fertile valley where fine cattle grazed from the trail that led to the nearest shipping point. The general store and hotel, run by old Pop Carter, was located at the pass. Here the cattlemen were accustomed to pause for rest and supplies before continuing their cattle drives eastward. In the first scene of our Lone Ranger drama, we find Clem Peabody guiding his large herd toward the pass.
Hey there, Pop. Doggone if you ain't a sight for sore eyes.
Hi, Clem. Maybe you won't be so glad to see me when you hear what I got to tell you.
Whoa there. Whoa, steady, boy. I'll draw up and pass the word while I wait for the critters to catch up to me. I got the finest stock ever. Just look at them longhorns.
Yeah.
What's the matter? You look like you'd aged 10 years since last time I come through here.
Reckon I have, Clem. Things ain't been good with me.
What's the matter?
Big Bill Lawson's outfit.
Them cow thieves working around here?
Not exactly. But you'll have trouble with them.
I got men to wipe them out.
Don't get that sort of idea, Clem. Take a look ahead. There's bars across the pass. You see?
What's them for?
Toll.
Toll?
Yep. You see, my land went across the pass, as you know.
Sure, but what about it?
I always had a pretty fair income from a store there. And I was glad to leave things stand like they was. But then Big Bill and his breeds and polecats come along.
Where they at now?
Right inside my place. They took it over.
You mean they took
I mean they bought it from me. I had my choice of selling or die.
Well, of all
so
things.
I sold it to them. And they let me stay here to sort of tell you and all other ranchers that'll be passing this way how things stand. Ah, Clem, it's a bad state of affairs.
What's Lawson want?
Cash.
You said something about toll.
Yep. 2 bits for every head that goes through the pass.
2 bits? Well, I got over 2,000 head of cattle.
Then it'll cost you plenty to get them through the pass.
I won't pay it. It's robbery.
Well, I'm afraid you ain't no choice, Clem.
I'll turn back.
Well, go back and you won't get no cows to market. You know as well as I do that you can't go round no other way.
Doggone it, it'll mount up to near $500.
Well, if you prefer, you can sign 1/4 of your cattle over to Big Bill.
1/4 of my cattle? That's even worse robbery.
Yeah. You see, he don't want to take the cattle. He'd sooner have the cash.
But if I give him 500 cows, I'll never come out even.
I know it. So's Big Bill. He's figuring nobody'll leave cattle with him.
I'm darned if I will. Is that him over yonder?
Yeah, that's him.
I'll go see him. Get up there. $500 or 500 head of cattle. I should say not. Hey there, Lawson. I want to talk with you.
I figured you would. What's your name?
Clem Peabody from the Bar Express. What's this I hear about you robbing men that aim to get to market?
I ain't robbing nobody, Peabody. I own this land now. If you want to cross, you pay 2 bits a head for cows. That's all there is to it.
I've heard of you and your outlaws and your rustling.
Now, hold on there, Peabody. I don't like to listen to that kind of talk. In the first place, there ain't a lawman in the country looking for me or any man that's with me.
They ain't a lawman wouldn't like to have some proof of the things you've done.
That may be right. But lacking proof, they can't do much, can they?
So now you scheme a legal way to rob folks. Well, I ain't no cash with me.
That's all right, Peabody. Cash or cattle, it don't matter.
1 cow to you for every 3 I take through.
Them's the terms.
It's robbery.
I don't aim to make it too hard for you, gents. You can give me your note and pay it when you come back here on your way home.
You're mighty trusting, ain't you?
Of course, you could go the long way around through the hills.
And travel 100 miles to cross the canyon?
If you went through the pass and took the other route back, I just send men to your ranch to collect on the note. So I don't take no chance in trusting you, see?
$500.
If you got 2,000 head, that's just right.
Why, you ornery low-down...
I don't like harsh words, Peabody. Now pay up, sign a note, or turn your cattle back. One of the three.
What if I head right on through?
I'd order my boys to open fire on your critters for trespassing on my land. Reckon I know my legal rights.
Reckon you're a dirty polecat. I have to give you my note. Ain't no choice. But wait till I tell the boys at the Longhorn Cafe about your scheme. Just you wait. I ain't done yet.
The Longhorn Cafe was filled with cattlemen and cowboys. Clem Peabody entered and joined his friends. They gathered around him while he told of the Lawson gang in control of Eagle Pass.
He's the darndest thing you ever heard tell of.
But, Clem, I don't see how Lawson could get away with that sort of thing.
He's a-doing it.
Did you talk to the sheriff?
I talked to the sheriff, talked to the banker, and talked to the United States Marshal. They all said he was within his rights.
Charging toll.
Yep, he can charge whatever he doggone pleases. Fact is, if he don't want to let the cattle through, he can stop it altogether.
That's doggone funny law, if you ask me.
Well, what's a man to do about it? Here I got the cash of my cattle. I got to hand over $500 of it to that ornery coyote on my way back.
What if you don't do it?
He's holding my note.
Yeah, but just the same.
If I don't pay the cash, he'll stop me from going back to my ranch.
Now, ain't that the darndest thing you ever heard of?
It's getting so a man can't make a living no more.
And the worst of it is, every cattleman in the valley will have to do the same doggone thing.
How many men is there?
Land sakes, ain't you never heard? That's the biggest grazing in the whole state.
Must be at least 50 or 60 ranches there.
At least that. Runs on for miles in every direction.
How many head do you figure will come through there this year?
Shucks, if they ain't over 150,000 head, I miss my guess.
What you need, Clem's drink?
I need a couple of them. Barkeep, fetch up that bottle and set it down.
Tonto, did you hear what Clem Peabody was telling?
Tonto here.
The law has tried for years to put Bill Lawson and his gang in jail.
Them plenty bad.
Nothing has ever been proved against them, though.
Them find way to beat law.
There's a disguise on my face, all right, Tonto.
It plenty good.
I'll not be recognized if I move around here in the cafe without a mask.
No.
And I'm going to get closer and hear more of what Clem Peabody has to say.
You maybe talk to him,
I think I will. Come over this way with me, Tonto.
And if you don't want to pay 2 bits a head, you can leave a quarter of your cattle.
25% of your cows?
That's right.
What can Sam Hill with Lawson do with all that cattle?
He won't do nothing with it. He don't figure on getting none. All he wants is a cash money.
Rottenest game I ever heard tell of.
It certainly is, Lige.
Did you hear that, Tonto? Lawson would have a hard time handling a lot of cattle.
That's right.
And with his reputation as an outlaw, he'd have an almost impossible time selling branded cattle. All he could do would be to hold it for a year and sell the unbranded calves. Tonto, I'm going to talk to Clem Peabody.
That's good. You maybe got plan, huh?
Perhaps I have.
At Eagle Pass, Bill Lawson and his men had converted the general store into a lounging room with tables for cards. Old Pop Carter, its former owner, sat alone behind the counter, which had been made into a bar. A man entered, slapping dust from his clothes, and Lawson looked up, saying,
Well, Butch, took you long enough to get back from town.
Yeah, I was sort of held up there. Things didn't work out just the way we figured they would.
What do you mean they didn't work out?
Just what I say. I kept an eye on Clem Peabody, just like you told me to.
Well, what'd he do?
Sold the critters and got the cash for him.
Yeah, then what?
Hey, give me a drink there, Pop. I'm thirsty from the ride.
Never mind that. Where's Clem Peabody?
Heading back this way with 500 head of cattle.
500 head of cattle for what?
For you, I reckon.
But you said he'd sold his cattle.
So he did. Then he talked to a stranger, and the two of them left the cafe and still kept on talking.
Who's the stranger?
I don't know. Never seen him before.
Then what?
He stayed over till the next morning, so I had to stay along, too, to keep an eye on him like you said to do.
Yeah?
Well, next morning he goes to the agent he'd sold the cows to and bought back 500 head.
For cash money?
Sure. And he rounded up his waddies, and they started driving 500 head of cattle back this way. They're heading this way now.
How far back?
They'll be here in an hour or so, I reckon. I didn't want to get too far ahead of them. I wanted to make sure they was heading back this way.
Wonder what the Sam Healy's bringing back 500 head of cattle for. What'd he do with the rest of his cash money?
Left it in the bank there.
Banked it? You mean to say he's coming back without no cash?
That's just what he's doing.
But I got his note. I got his note for $500.
Yeah, I know you have.
He owes me $500.
Or 500 head of cattle. Maybe he figures on paying you in cattle.
He's crazy if he does. That cattle's worth a sight more than $500.
Crazy like a fox.
Shut up! Maybe it ain't worth that much to him.
What'd he pay for it to buy it back, do you know?
Nope. Couldn't find out.
There's Clem Peabody heading this way now. You can see him off in the distance.
Yeah, let me take a look.
You see, Bill? There he is. Ain't that him?
Looks like him.
That's him, all right.
I don't want them cattle. I didn't figure anybody'd pay us off in cattle. I want the cash.
Looks like you're going to get the cattle instead, Bill.
What'll we do with the critters? There ain't no grazing here for 'em.
I'll tell you what I figure. In fact, I was told that by an Injun named Tonto. Ever hear him, Pop?
Well, I might have, and again, I might not.
Never mind that. What'd he tell you?
You see, Bill, this Injun, he come up to me and he says the only way they could drive us out in here was to get you to do something illegal.
Yeah?
Such as selling branded cattle.
They can't get me if I buy it legal, can they?
Well, as to that, they might be able to. Might be hard for a man with your background to prove you got it legal, savvy?
Anyhow, we're wised up to what Clem Peabody is scheming. That's something. Let him bring the cattle. I'll accept it. They don't get me on no law angles. I'm too smart for 'em.
Injun named Tonto with a white horse.
What are you gaping and laughing about, you old fool?
Oh, nothing. As you say, Bill, you're too smart to get trapped easy.
The curtain falls on the first act of tonight's thrilling Lone Ranger drama. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. Bill Lawson purchased the control of Eagle Pass and demanded that he receive either cash or cattle for each herd driven through the cut. Clem Peabody, following the advice of the Lone Ranger, paid his toll in cattle. Our next scene opens in Clem Peabody's house. His wife is scolding him for giving Lawson 500 cows.
Of all the plain and fancy food.
No, Dolly, I knowed what I was doing.
Not fun you did. Of all things I ever heard tell of, this is the limit.
All right, Dolly, let it go at that.
I won't let it go. You must have lost your mind. You had all the cash money and was to turn $500 of it over to Bill Lawson.
That's a lot of money.
But you spent sight more than that buying back 500 head of cattle.
I know.
Whatever got into you?
Well, I talked to a man at Longhorn.
You talked to a man. My sakes alive, I'm glad you didn't talk to two men. You might have come back without banking a dime.
Someone coming, Dolly. Now hush up while we got company. Come on in.
Jim, I want to speak with you.
Hey, Brent. Ginger, it's good to see you. Leave the door open. It's kind of stuffy in here. You're a long ways from your own spread.
Clem, I heard things about Eagle Pass.
And there's plenty to hear about. I just got back.
I know that.
You had to choose between $500 and 500 head of cattle.
That's right.
And the doggone idiot gave away the cattle.
So I heard. That's why I come here. Clem, you ain't touching the head, are you?
Nope.
Ain't been eating local weed?
Nope.
Every one of your waddies was plumb disgusted with you for what you done.
I better not say so where I can hear him.
Clem, I'm an old friend. I'm here to see just what's behind that move of yours. Now, you ain't a fool, and you never in your life went off half-cocked in a business deal.
Not till now. But he sure made up for all the caution he showed heretofore.
Now, hold on, Dolly. There's a smart look in his face. Clem, just what's your angle on it?
Abe, there's a masked man heading this way. He's coming around through the hills to get to this grazing without going through the pass.
Yeah?
He's a-riding a white horse. The finest horse in the whole blame country.
Go on.
He's the one told me to give them critters cattle instead of cash.
Tell me some more.
He's going to have a talk with all you ranchers before you drive your cows through the pass.
Yeah?
And try and persuade you to do what I done.
By all that's righteous. If he thinks he can do that, he's more a fool than Clem is.
Ain't so sure he won't persuade the boys to give away cows, Dolly.
If there was any point to it... Hey, there's someone riding down here now. Look out that door.
A white horse, Clem. Get your gun. He must be one of the outlaws.
Clem, he's called his horse Silver. You mean to say the man that told you what to do is the Lone Ranger?
Just so. And there he comes to get the rest of you cowmen to help.
Well, if the Lone Ranger says for me to give them crooks cattle, I'll give them cattle.
You'll do what Clem done?
Yes, and so'll all the other men. Dolly, mean to say you never heard of the Lone Ranger?
Oh, there, Silver, old boy. Here I am, mister. He got through the hills in record time.
Come with me, Clem. We've got to call on the other ranchers before they drive their cattle to the pass.
Here's one you can talk to right now, mister.
This is Abe Brent. Tell him your scheme, and he'll help to spread the word around.
Good. Come on and ride with me.
Clem, get your horse hitched up. Did you hear that?
I heard it, and we're a-riding.
Clem Peabody and Abe Brent rode with the Lone Ranger. They went from ranch to ranch, pausing only long enough to explain their plan and get a promise of cooperation from the owners. They covered the valley from end to end as they enlisted the ranchers in their cause. When their work was done, the Lone Ranger left the valley by way of the hills, avoiding Lawson's men. At Eagle Pass, Lawson himself was pacing the floor of the general store in a rage. Pop Carter, grinning, watched him from behind the counter.
We gotta do something about it. What's the matter with you men? Can't none of you think of something? Who'd ever think the thing would work out this way? Every doggone critter that's gone through here with a herd is chosen to leave cattle instead of cash.
They got the whole place cluttered up with cattle.
Boss, all I can suggest is that you stop accepting cattle. Make 'em pay in cash.
But blast it, how can I? They don't have the cash when they head for the east, and they can't get the cash if they don't sell the cattle. And they won't go through with cattle unless I take the doggone cows in payment of the toll.
We can't go on like this much longer, boss. Them cows have got to be fed.
Why don't you take a chance and drive 'em into town and sell 'em?
Wouldn't that be smart now? Wouldn't it be smart? Every lawman in the country wanting to frame me for something, and I go to try and sell cattle with 50 assorted brands registered in other men's names.
You can show bills of sale, though. You can prove the cattle's yours.
Where's that Injun that was around here?
Right here beside me, Lawson.
Hey, you. Come over here.
Me come. What you want?
You've been hanging around here for the past week.
Me help you.
I wonder if you've been helping. You said they was laying for me in town, waiting for me to try and sell some of this cattle.
Why you not try?
Where'd you get your facts?
Me hear lawman talk.
What'd they say?
Them say maybe get 'em you in jail at last.
What about selling cattle?
Lawman hope you try.
Reckon that's all I need to know, then. There ain't no sense in playing right into their hands.
They just hanker to have you run them cows to town, Bill.
Well, we gotta do something. We got too much value in them cows to let 'em die for lack of grazing. See who that is? There ain't no more cows heading this way, is there?
The guard said he would have said so if there was.
Well, what do you want? It's Clem Peabody.
Howdy, Bob.
Howdy, Clem.
I'll make a deal with you, Lawson. Well, you
got a lot of cattle that needs grazing, ain't you?
What about it?
I figured maybe you could use my men to drive the herd to town to sell it.
Oh, you did, eh? Well, I'm wise to the scheme to get me to sell them critters, see? I ain't stepping into no frame up to land me in jail.
How'd you know about that?
I knowed about it. That's all that counts.
Oh, shucks. Well, then ain't no use us figuring no further. Reckon you got the best of us.
You're darn right.
After me letting you have cows instead of cash, hoping to get you that away.
Yeah. Now get out of here.
Well, I'm broke now. Look here, Lawson. You need land, don't you?
What if I do?
Your cows has to eat. If you had a ranch and the brands that go with it, you'd be setting right well in the cattle business with all them critters to start with.
Well?
You'll have to hold them till next season if you don't own some brands of your own. Now, why don't you buy my spread?
Huh?
Maybe there's an idea, Bill.
For how much?
How much cash you got?
None. I'll sign notes for the place.
Well, I sort of hope to get some cash.
I ain't more than $1,000 all told.
You give me that much down, I take notes for the rest. How'd that be?
What do you think of it, boys?
And it's a go?
Real deal. Get out some paper and we'll draw up an agreement. Boys, we're going to be honest cattlemen. How's that, eh?
An agreement was drawn up between Lawson and Clem, and the $1,000 paid over to the rancher. Unnoticed by anyone, Tonto left the store and rode to the cliff, where he sent up a smoke signal. Lawson's men began the roundup of their cattle. Their horses circled the herd, forcing the scattered animals into a compact group. Then the herd was started on its journey into the valley. Clem and Lawson rode side by side.
We got quite a ways to go to reach the ranch, Lawson.
How far?
It'll take quite a while to get there. We got to cross a dozen other ranches.
We have?
Yeah, you see the valley here's goes off along, but it ain't so wide. Each of the ranch owners owns the land from one side to the other. There's a square D just ahead.
What are all them men lined up there?
Looks like they've been fixing up the fences.
Looks like they've been fixing up their shooting irons. What are they eyeing us like that for?
Hi there, Leif.
Hi, Clem.
Whoa, boy, steady there.
Steady. Whoa.
Leif, I sold my ranch to Bill Lawson. He's moving his cattle to it.
Yeah? Well, he has to cross my land to get there.
All right, then. Let me through.
Not so fast, Lawson. I'm charging toll to get across my ranch.
What's that?
Yeah.
What's the matter, Bill?
They aim to charge us to cross this land.
Come on! Hey, there's a masked man coming and the lawman with him.
Yeah. I figured maybe you wouldn't like paying toll as well as you like collecting it. So I arranged for the sheriff to be here. He'd sure admire to see you start some trouble.
Any trouble here?
Not yet, Sheriff.
But Leif, Bill ain't got no cash.
That's all right. I'll take it out in cattle. A quarter of what he's got.
Lawson turned over a fourth of his herd to the owner of the Square D Ranch, then continued his journey, while the sheriff's posse and the Lone Ranger accompanied him. At length they reached the boundary of the next ranch, where they were confronted by Sam Tuttle and his men, all heavily armed.
Clem, what's all this? Sold out my place, Sam. Lawson is taking his critters there.
Yeah? Well, that's interesting. Reckon I'll have to get some toll if he aims to cross my land.
What's that?
It's robbery.
Of all the dratted...
Come on, Lawson. Make some trouble. Just started.
You'll have your choice, Lawson. Cash or a quarter of your stock.
Yep, cash or cows. It don't matter now.
I won't do it. We'll go back.
You'll pay to go back. Pay for the square D. We'll charge you again.
Now the Sam Hill fire show ranch.
Quite a spell yet.
Blast it all. Count out a quarter of the cows and leave them here. We gotta go on.
What's that ahead? Reckon, Bill, that's another ranch we gotta cross.
And more toll to pay?
Reckon so. Traveling comes high in these parts.
Pay up or turn back.
Turn back and them first two will collect again.
Lawson, almost frantic, went on his way. With every ranch he crossed, more cows were taken. The cattlemen no longer asked for 1/4, but each demanded the return of the same number of animals originally taken from him. When at last they reached Clem Peabody's ranch, less than 100 cows remained. Lawson stared at the cattlemen, his temper beyond control.
Now you can all go to blazes. I'm here, and what cows I got left are mine. I bought this land, so clear off.
1 minute, Lawson. You bought the land, but what will you do for water?
What? Ain't there water here?
Oh, I sort of mentioned it, Bill. You got to get your water from the next ranch, and old Skinflint Lewis is awful stingy. I'm afraid he'll want cash money.
I get it. The whole thing's a put-up job.
You'll realize that at last, huh?
I realized it when you called that horse Silver. You done this. You schemed to get the cows back to these ranchers.
Lawson, you can stay here on Clem's land and do without water, or you can let Clem keep the cattle that's left and the cash you paid and clear out.
We was better off before we tried to go honest.
You didn't try in the right way.
Boys, we're quitting.
Let's get out of here. I had enough.
Come on, you keep your darn ranch and cows.
Thank you, Bill. Just sign this paper I already got drawn up.
You give it to me. Had it all ready, huh? There. Now we're leaving here.
Let's start now. The sooner the better.
Hold on, Butch. Don't go back the way we come. We're heading for the hills.
But that's all.
I says we're heading for the hills. If we go back across all them doggone ranches, we won't even have our horses left.
Hi-yo, Come on there, Silver, old boy. Tuttle's ahead. We'll see what he's signaling us for. Hi-yo, Silver.
The story you have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated.